In the Brewing Student Cultures podcast, we will cover topics of student life
from both international and Dutch perspective. A podcast by International Students Work.
Hey everyone, welcome to the International Students Work podcast, Brewing Student Cultures. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Isabella, and today we're going to talk about a very important topic.
Yes.
Finding accommodation is something that you need to tackle before starting your uni life. Not only for internationals, but also for Dutch people. So today we're going to talk about this topic, and we have a very special guest with us today. Nadir, welcome to our podcast. He's the CEO of myroom.nl. So thank you for being here and sharing your knowledge with us.
Of course. Yeah, nice to be here. Yeah. And it's indeed a very important topic. I have lots of international students, friends, and they all tell me it's quite horrible sometimes, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully we're going to talk about that today and share some tips with you guys on how to be successful with housing here, because it's possible.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
It's possible.
Yeah. Okay, so introduce yourself. Let us know who you are.
So I'm one of the co-founders of My Room, and we started it this year actually. And the idea is that we saw a very big problem, which is housing in the Netherlands, especially for students. And it's just so cluttered and there's no centralized place for it. So we're a team of 6 other volunteers basically working on My Room. And we've built a website around that to help students find housing. And obviously we gather lots of information. We talk with lots of houses and lots of students. So I'm here to share a bit of my knowledge there.
Awesome.
Nice. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, I mean, before I arrived in the Netherlands, because we arrived like 4 months ago almost, and I did not imagine that housing would actually be a problem. You know, I didn't think it would be even on my list of things to worry about. You know, and then coming here, I was one of the lucky ones. I got like a private house, a shared house, close to the city center. But it wasn't the case for most of my friends, and I think you, Isa, you're in student accommodation, right?
Yeah.
How is it going?
Yeah, so the university helped me. Mm-hmm. So I have a 1-year contract, which is okay, which is great for my first year. But yeah, I still have friends that don't have a place to live. They are traveling all day, all night, all day, all night. So I think that now that we're here, we are aware of the crisis that the Netherlands is facing. And maybe you can talk a little bit
of course.
Like we don't know how big it is.
Yeah, we don't know how big or why.
Yeah, but I'm first very curious. So how did you think it was gonna be here, right? Because I just had a conversation with some of my friends today, international friends, and also some like that I know online, and I just asked them the same question, right? So how does it happen in your country? And they just telling me like, the uni finds dorms for us and it's all like easy and chill. But how did you guys think it was going to be?
Yeah, for me, I was dealing with so much with documents, choosing the course, university, that I didn't really think about it. Housing, I was like, okay, of course I'm going to get a place. Yeah. I'm not going to live on the street, you know. But then I got an email from the university asking if I need help. And I was like, oh God, I do. Right? So I thought it was gonna be easy. For me, it was kinda. But now that I see my friends, I just understand that it's not that easy. Not impossible, but not easy at all.
Yeah, like I would expect the university to provide something for first years at least. Like the impression that I have of universities that take international students, that you go to the country and they handle housing for you for 1 year. You pay like a fixed amount that all in first years pay, and then after that, like you just find your own place because you don't need to rely on the university that much. Yeah. That was kind of like the idea I had. But then when I realized like I wasn't planning on staying in an accommodation in the first place, because I thought, well, maybe I can find something cheaper. But in the end, that was not even an option. Like I wanted the university to provide me with a place. But they also said like, we may have space for everyone, but we also may not. And I was like, how are we supposed to go then? Like, how? I don't know anyone. I don't speak the language. It's like another barrier.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly, I think, what the most experience is. But when I asked my friends today, they're like, in my country, for them, it's like the uni just gets the housing for them. They just pay like a monthly fee, and you have like co-housing, and it's fine. Just sign in a button, right? Like a list, and it's good. In the Netherlands, however, it's a bit different, as you guys have seen. So the uni can help you, but there's no such thing as uni dorms in the Netherlands. So rarely, at least. So universities don't have accommodation on site. What is happening though is that there's like private organizations that are partnering with unis. So you could get a room through them, but mostly it's going to be private institutions or just private people that own a house and that are sub-renting it to students. That's most likely what's going to be. And indeed, we have a problem, a very big one, being the housing crisis, and there's many reasons. And I could talk about it for a long time, but in the end, it comes down to we have many people in the Netherlands, and since 2008, there hasn't really been much building of houses, like after that financial crisis. And it just hasn't been going steady, and there have been other priorities, and there's many reasons, but what we can factually state is we just don't have enough houses here. Then you have families. They want to put families in houses, so you have to prioritize, families or students, and then you have refugees also. So it's a big problem. So that's really what's been going on. And there's lots of things that you can do to combat this. And there's lots of various websites, just like My Room, but also on Facebook, and we can also talk about that later. But maybe first, how are you guys currently living, and how did you find your accommodation?
Yeah, I found mine through Kamernet.
Yeah.
I'm probably butchering the way it's pronounced the name
No,
of the
that's
website. But I was really lucky. I just made up like my intro, put pictures. I think that it's easy to know if the person is reliable or not, if they have like a profile picture, a nice introduction. And just texted a lot of people to the platform. Then got like maybe out of like 30 people or 20, I got like 2 replies, and then one of them just didn't reply back after I replied, and one of them did. Then I went through like an interview, like kind of like a get to know my flatmates. It was all like one of my flatmates actually handled the whole process. It wasn't even like the landlord or anything. And then it was a match. I got an email like 1 week later, and I was in, and I was super happy. But at the time, I didn't know it was like that bad, the crisis. So it was just like, nice, I got the place. And then I started looking like people in my major before we got to know each other. We're just texting the group chat like, I may have to sleep under a bridge. And I was like, what is going on?
Oh my god. Yeah, so I didn't went through this searching process because the university found me a place. So it was awesome. But I know how big it is, the crisis. So now I'm trying to find a new place. I need to leave in August, so I still have time. But sooner better. So I'm now currently in the process of texting every day, creating my profile, doing the introduction paragraph that they always ask for. Getting in like video calls or going to the views. So
I think that is much better if you're here actually.
Yeah.
Because not every ad that I saw was available for people that wanted to do like an online viewing, and I think like that matters as well. But I'm not sure.
So there's various indeed ways to find housing, and Isabella, you did it through the uni, which was partnered with another constitution, and then Alyssa, you did it via a website called Kamernet, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So what we do, or what we have seen, is that there's also Facebook, obviously, and communities have been formed on Facebook, and students have been uploading their rooms there, actually. So it's quite weird if you think about it. So we're not really using a website for this. We're not really using an organization for this. Students have really taken it into their own hands and created Facebook groups all over the Netherlands. And you can just access them right now. You can ask to join the group, and you'll see like hundreds of rooms in there. And it's quite messed up, because if you want to find a room there, you have to look every single day, right?
Yes, and you never know, the person is like an actual thing of like if it's a scam, because you don't have to go through the process of like paying for even in websites like Cameron. I know that there are scammers, but I feel like in Facebook or a website like that is even harder, especially if you like have to read a text with all the information in the box.
But Facebook is, in my opinion, one of the best way to do this though, if you are looking for like co-housing or like a student house. And I have like later on like a list that I can give you with like good tips to do it with Facebook. But there's also scammers, obviously, which is another problem online. So if you go through the uni, there won't be really scammers because they have verified rooms. However, if it's like private websites like Camernet or Facebook, there can be scammers. But in the end, it should really be look at their profile if you're looking for a room, really. And just use your senses, honestly, because you might be stressed, you might be looking for a room, and you just want to get it over with, and you're looking for 3 months now, and you just want to have it done, but there are lots of scammers out there. If they ask you a deposit, don't do anything like that.
Okay.
No, really, don't. If they ask you like a deposit before you even see the room, that is, if they ask you for your ID, like your actual passport or like a photo of it, don't give them, like, no need to do it.
Okay.
How it usually goes is that you sign up via a website or via Facebook, send them an email, and then they can either invite you or deny you, really depending on the email that you sent them. And if you get accepted, I think you also had this viewing night, right? You have a viewing night, and I would love to hear how that went. And so you go to the housing, and you have like so-called viewing night where the student houses interview you, kind of. And it's quite awkward because you have 5 others next to you, or maybe,
oh my God, no.
or maybe 10 others next to you, right? 10 other students.
Oh my God.
So it's really competitive, and they made like a whole system out of it. And it's like really layered, right? So first step is you send an email, second step you get invited, third step is they have a conversation with you, fourth step is them like going back again and just chatting with each other, the house themselves, and who are we gonna pick, who's gonna do round 2 even. Maybe a round 2 is gonna come, and they have like filtered 3 people now, and then they're gonna choose one, and then the contract comes. So they're really taking it into their own hands and are trying to solve this problem by themselves. But,
my viewing night, it was scarier than my job interview.
Yeah?
It was. I'm not kidding.
There's more on the line, right?
Yeah, right? So I was really unlucky because I was the last one. So it was 10 p.m. when like they invite me. It was my time. When I got there, they were exhausted. They were clearly like not in the mood for the interview. So just like, okay, you're here, let's do the interview, but we're exhausted. They showed me the room. There was some leftover food. I did some questions, of course, and they were like, but why are you questioning that? Like, but why? And I was like, I want to know like who the landlord is, like how's the cleaning schedule. Yeah, and then the next morning they text me saying, we choose another one, but thank you, good luck.
Yeah.
It was quick, at least. You didn't keep your expectations for that long.
Yeah, it was really quick. But I don't know, maybe if I was the first, second girl going to the viewing, they will be more excited, they will have more energy to listen to my answers. Yeah.
So with you, they did everyone apart, right? So not at the same time.
They separate every guest.
But for everyone that's going to go through Facebook or these websites, you will most likely, 99%, have such a viewing night. So you really have to be mentally prepared for this and really know about it. And how it usually goes is indeed, you get invited, you get like an address in your email, you're going to go there, knock on the door, you're going to step in, and it's either going to be you versus them or you with like 5 or 10 others with them. And you're just going to talk about you actually, and it's like an interview. It's like a very stressful interview
in front of everyone else. Oh my God.
It is.
And I've actually I've seen both sides. So one time I was like going to a house, and the other time I was like the on the place of the house themselves, right? So a friend of mine, he was also subrenting a room, and I just sat next down to him, and we had like 3 or 4 other like boys come in, and we were like interviewing them or like just questioning them a bit here and there, and you see like they're quite nervous, right? And we're just sitting at the other side. We're like, dude, chill, man, it's all right. Like, we just want to know about you. We just want to know who you are, what you do, and whether in general you just fit with the place, right? and you may have lots of questions, and all of those will be answered by the house pretty much, or like the people that live in the house.
So that's it. So mainly when you're going through the process, it's not about you and the landlord, it's about you and the ones that are living in the house. Right?
Exactly.
So that's why they deal with the selection process, they deal with the Facebook announcements, the pictures, everything.
Yes, it's quite funny because you would indeed expect that you would be facing the landlord, right? Because they literally own the place, but you might not even see them, the landlord themselves. The only contact you'll have with the landlord is most likely that they're going to send you a contract via email that you have to sign, and that's it. The rest is going to be you're going to live with your like the other tenants in there, hopefully be best friends, so they are going to do the process, because it makes sense. You're going to live with the person, you will do the process, and the landlord just tells them, hey, this is the budget, this is the room, make pictures of it, post something on Facebook, and just give me a new tenant, man. And it's all going to be good after that.
I was gonna say that because like it goes way beyond like just finding a room, right? Is all the bureaucracy involved, the contracts, like the fact that most of the contracts are in Dutch. Because really I did something that I do not recommend to anyone, but I was at the point to which I realized that it was a crisis. I was very desperate that the apartment that I found was real, because I was like, what if I'm being scammed? Like, what is going on? And then I just arrived here, and then I got the contract virtually first, and it was all in Dutch. So what I did, I basically like just threw it in the translator, found like how long the contract lasted, and just signed it. I didn't read anything else because I was so desperate, And I know it's recommended that you read the contract, but like how do you deal with that? Like I didn't at the time. I wasn't really close with my flatmates that do speak that are Dutch. But I would just sometimes if it's printed out, you would have to actually translate line by line.
Okay, so that's quite bad, first of all, that they actually sent you a Dutch one and not an English one. That's very bad, right? Okay. But in case that happens, first thing you should do is obviously translate it, Google Translate it, and just see if that makes sense. If you have any questions, you should really always ask the landlord or the party that they're involved with. Try to ask people around you, Dutch people. They understand these things. It's not like computer science or something, right? It's quite easy to read sometimes, and you can just understand what's happening there. However, if you really do not have an answer, there's a company called Juridisch Loket in the Netherlands, and basically what they do is they give you free legal counsel.
Oh my god!
Free, right? And you just send them an email, explain what you have. They skim over your contract. They know how it looks like. They have read many contracts before, and it's like owned by the government. So you're just gonna get legal counsel for free, pretty much, if that really is an issue.
Okay.
And what are the key points in the contract that I should look out for? Is it just contract time?
Because for example, I think most of people will relate, but it's the first time I'm moving and living by my own. So even if I was in my
your home country,
home country, I don't know what are the specific things that I should be aware, things that I should look in the contract.
In the apartment as well, maybe look for heating. I don't know, because we come from a hot country. I wouldn't think about heating, but then everybody was like, "Do you have heating in your house?" I was like, "Where should the heating be?" Because it was hot when I arrived as well,
So I think it's hard, and even if it's in Dutch and you don't know what's going on and you're so desperate, so you just sign up, that's it. So maybe you have some tips we should.
Of course. I mean, obviously the price is going to be in there, and the duration. Those definitely the most two important things.
Okay.
But there's also often the deposit, right? And
true.
This is something that you should really not forget. There's most likely going to be a deposit, which is going to be the first month payment or something like that. So if you pay 500 for your room, you're going to have to pay 500 the first month twice, because that's going to be the deposit. And they do that so that if you leave and the room is not in the clean state or whatever, or you have a nasty room, they're going to keep the deposit, right? That's why they do it. And you should really read about when can you get the deposit back. One time that I rented this room, they said you're only going to get it back after a year, while my girlfriend, she could always get it back if she just left. So if I would have left 6 months later, I would not get the deposit back, while she would have. So really watch out for the deposit. And I think the rest should really be handled by common law. So the house owner should give you a house that's properly working. If it's not properly working, you can make a problem out of it, and you can again call, for instance, like a lawyer or Juridisch Loket, just like I said, free counsel, and they can help you there. So that's already Dutch law. You don't have to worry about that.
That is super good to know. I never know how much I'm entitled to, because my window was kind of broken. I was like, should I fix that, or is there like a...
So if your window, for instance, is broken, or like something really essential is broken, they have to fix it. The landlord has to fix it or send someone to fix it free of charge. They must do it. That's why you're paying like processing fees. You most likely are paying processing fees for that, like 70 euros a month or something like that. But if it's like little fixes, such as like a lamp is broken, you should fix that yourself. So there's a difference between big fixes and the small fixes. And the small fixes you often do yourself.
Okay. And what about breaking contracts?
Because there's so little housing, but so many people want the housing, or like want to have a house or something like that, that they can become quite competitive and unfair in the contract, as to they just want to have like lots of money and they just want to keep you, and that's why the contracts are becoming quite unfair sometimes. But in the end, you signed it, so you have to follow it. That's the nasty thing about it. There's really a hard way out of that. But again, if you think it's unfair, you should get a free lawyer like that, or like the team that gives you free counsel advice, and talk about it, and they can help you there.
Okay.
But I do agree with what you're saying. I feel like because there aren't a lot of options for students, things are getting so selective, and people are starting to go like with like the worst housing possibilities ever because we're so desperate, And I feel like that is a thing. If you find a house, you have to be really lucky. Otherwise, you're gonna have, like, I've talked to a bunch of people that are having problems, that are desperately looking to move. And there are people that don't have houses that because of location as well, because some people are living in Germany, for God's sake. Like, it's very...
I mean, if you're an international student, though, you do get prioritized by, like, private institutions that work with the uni. So the farther away you live, the more higher you are on the list, basically, of prioritization and how fast you can actually get housing. So if you live in Germany, you're not going to get housing as fast as if you would live, for instance, in Brazil. Right? So that's the thing there.
Okay.
But again, there's many ways to find housing, and if you guys would like, we can talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, don't worry, everyone. We're listing a bunch of problems, but it's not all problems. There are solutions, and I'm sure like your website is one of them, right?
For instance, but obviously there's also Facebook. I would always recommend Facebook first. And what we have made is really an addition that solves the Facebook problem. So what you should do, first of all, is go to Facebook and write your city name and then add room or kamer behind it, which is the Dutch translation of room.
Oh yeah, that house.
Yeah, right? And then kamer or house, whatever, and then just join those groups. There's going to be like tons of them, like 20, 30 per city. Join them and just skim through the advertisements. And just see what people are saying, what they're doing. And there's always like an email in the advertisement that you should send a certain message to. So I'm interested, blah, blah, blah. This is who I am. And then they can select you. But there's more. So obviously there's My Room. You have Kamernet, as we told. You have Pararius. But all of those are private companies that ask money also for it. And it can get quite expensive, up to 35 euros a month. And you're not even guaranteed that you'll find a room or housing, as those companies can sometimes take advantage of the fact that there's like a housing crisis. So what we're doing currently with My Room is that we're bringing every Facebook group together on My Room, and it's totally free. So if there's like 10 rooms uploaded in Amsterdam Facebook group, and then another in another Amsterdam Facebook group, and another 10 in another Amsterdam Facebook group, we basically have 30 rooms on My Room on the website. And we have like this very smart system that just grabs every single room of Facebook, puts it on My Room, and then you can see it, and in the future also get notified that there's a room that you can instantly reply to it. Because in the end, it's all about the reply rate and how fast you reply. The faster you reply, the more chance you have that they will actually see your reply and thus invite you for the viewing night.
Oh, yeah, true, because like the same way that there's a bunch of people looking for a room, the people that are giving out the room are like having a bunch of options to choose from. They can't like go through every one of them. I remember that in my interview it was like definitely over 100 people that went for the room. So imagine like having to go through all of these, and for them it's also like something on the line, right? They don't know if they can trust the person that's going there. Oh my god, it's so much.
So we actually also we did an experiment where we posted our own room on Facebook and on my room, and we had like 180 replies in like a day or two, right? And we just skimmed through them and we like saw what people are sending in, and it's often always the same. It's often like you have a title and some people are sending images, and then it's like their hobbies. But some people are always a bit bullshitting, right? They are like, I like cleaning, I like doing this and helping the house.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Of course, really don't do that. Just be yourself, because I swear I went through them and I can tell you exactly like which ones look alike. Most of them really look alike. This is my hobby and this is why blah blah. That's good. But just don't do like I like cleaning or I like cooking for all of you or whatever. So people actually do that. It's not gonna work.
Cooking for all of you is the best thing.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. And there's more things that you could do. But my primarily number one tip that you should do is start early. So if you know you want to study in the Netherlands, really head to Facebook right now, sign up all those Facebooks. Go to websites like Kamernet or whatever. You can try them if you like. Go to my room if you like, and really start early. Have an idea of where all the rooms are located, and have that ready for you. So then, when you come here or even earlier, send them messages. Have a message ready to send all of those houses. That's number one. And we could go through all of the others if you like.
Yeah, like a picture probably is in the list.
Oh, definitely. So I mean it's really start very early, but also that you have to be very consistent. So really make it a routine that every single day you'll look for the housing on Facebook, whatever. Go through those websites, look if there's new housing. If there is, reply like ASAP. Really, if you reply fast, you're gonna make it also fast. So be fast, be very fast. So personal anecdote, basically I found two housing in the Netherlands. One was a small room that I had, and I found it through a website called Pararius. And what I did there is literally I watched it every single room, every single day, every single hour of the day. And then at one random, I think it was like a Tuesday night at 7 p.m. I saw a new ad, right?
You know
it
the
was
time.
Posted, it was like posted like 5 minutes ago. I was like, shit, man, I'm gonna do this. I ran to my laptop. I was on my laptop. I ran to it. I wrote my message as I always do. I sent it to them. 2 days later, they sent me a reply. Hey, you're invited, and to see this, and this. And there were like 10 others, but it was only us 10, right? All the others did not get invited, because if it's a private organization, which it was in my case, they don't really care how you are. They just care if you have the money, and if you're like maybe like an okay-ish person, so you're not really nasty or whatever, stuff like that, right? So if you're presentable. That's number one. And the second that I found was via Facebook. So this is actually the apartment that I live with my girlfriend. Exact same story. Random, I think it was Thursday, 4 p.m. I was just chilling chilling, right? Scrolling through Facebook, like super tired, like shit, man, I want to find something. And then I was scrolling and I saw this advertisement. I was like, oh man, I grabbed my email instantly. I went to the email, I wrote the message again, sent a picture of myself and my girlfriend out there, and bam, it was like one guy, he had his apartment, he was renting it, and we became it in the end, right? So obviously we had to endure, we had to go there, we had to talk with him first. He showed us around, and I was like, hey man, I really want this, man, I really need this. So a bit of chit chat, and it was us in the end. So that's really great, and Facebook really works there. Obviously put pictures of yourself, you already said it. So if you are writing a message to a house, put pictures of yourself, or Instagram or social or whatever, because they want to see how you look like. It's quite important, because they have 200 other people, they might not have pictures. They're gonna prioritize you.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, I had kind of like a template of what I wrote in my message. Like, I think that is useful, especially if we're talking about like time frames, because you said that's really important. But I do wonder, like, of course, I kind of personalized, like, I catered my message to the room I was looking for. But I wonder what, like, counts more, you know? Like, are you looking for someone to actually write your ad that is, like, fits into your description? Because some people ask questions, right, in their like, ads. They ask, like, what are your hobbies? And, like...
Yeah,
I mean,
some, I think it's really tricky. They do, like, tell us your favorite music and your favorite color. Probably no one is gonna, like, read the entire thing, so people are not gonna send the color and the music, and they're already out, you know. So some is just, you know, if you read the announcement until the end.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because, like, what? My favorite color? This is gonna choose something about living with me?
True.
No, right? So I think they are really tricky. They really want to know if, like, how interesting you are. Did you read everything?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, some messages or some houses make it tricky for you. But I think the most really care about yourself and how you are as a person there in the message. So talk about the hobbies that you have, but don't make it too long, because they have 199 others that they will read, and you have to stand out some sort of way. And again, don't bullshit with the I like cleaning over there. But there's this company or like a group of students. They did like a research about this, and they had like sent a fake room, which is quite sad, on Facebook, and they had also like 200 replies. And they just tracked, so how old were the people, where did they come from, and the result is as following. So most people that replied were around 19 or 20 years old, so they just started uni. And they always had quite the same title of the email when sending it. So it was like, looking for a room, or I'm interested, or someone had, please accept me. But you have to kind of stand out, right?
Oh my God, they were so too baggy.
You have to kind of stand out, even in the title. So obviously lots of people had hobbies in there, and 96% had what they study, obviously, like what kind of major they have, which is obviously also important to have, so you can see if you match other people's major also. Lots of people put what they facts about themselves, which is quite nice to have also. And obviously their personality and socials are quite important to have in those messages. But that's really how the message looks like quite often. So those are the things that are in there.
Yeah, also if you work or not, because I think this tells a lot about you. Like, oh, okay, so she's already working. She'll probably be working, not, she's
she
doing
can
money,
afford to pay for her rent.
Exactly. So if you're a first year or not, how far you're to graduate, like.
I mean, that is true. So as a house, I have the feeling that they prefer to have people that already know a bit about the Netherlands and the country and the city. So they don't have to teach them everything from the beginning. So it would be nice if you already like have a job, or if you know a bit about the city. So they know they have, like, you have your own personal life in the city also. That's quite a good thing if you have that established. But if you don't, then it doesn't really matter, honestly, in the end. It's just about who you are and if you fit with the people of the house.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, like, I noticed, I talked to a friend and he said that, like, most ads are for women. Like, and he said, like, you were lucky, because I was really lucky, because I was like the exact description, the profile that they were looking for in terms of age, like, and then also I was a woman and everything. But why is it that most places are looking for women, and what else? Like
Dutch people.
Yeah, Dutch people as well, because some houses, like, the ads just begin with no internationals, you know.
Maybe a sorry. No international sorry.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the woman thing, I don't know. Interesting one. Never really looked at it that way. But the no international thing, it is a thing indeed. So lots of houses are full with Dutch students. And then they just want to, keep talking in Dutch. And I guess they have some kind of, or they just rather just want to talk in Dutch. So they put no international students in the message so that no international would actually reply to it. That's, I guess, the main reason that they do it. But you will see it quite often. But there's also plenty, or at least from what I see on my room, there's plenty of people that want to also accept international students. So, but
Yeah,
Yes.
also a lot of people here speak English, like good English.
Yeah.
Because in
Yeah.
Brazil, people think they speak English, but they don't speak English. Here, people actually do, which is so nice. Yeah.
And how did you think, I mean, what was your experience with the viewing night? Because it can be quite horrible. I've also heard some stories from my male friends, like drink 1 liter of beer.
What?
Or like 1/2 liter of beer.
No.
I swear.
No way.
It's really, it's quite.
Oh my
it's quite
god,
horrendous. And then,
it's like a survival
it's like-
death.
Yeah, for real. So there have been quite funny stories also, especially among men, but those are like the hardcore student houses of the Netherlands.
Like Hunger Games, like.
Yeah. Like, honestly, there's only like 10 or 20 of them maximum in each city, so don't be afraid. But it can be quite funny sometimes. Yeah. But how was your experience?
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay. We were all tired, so as I mentioned, it was already a problem, but it was fine. They asked me so many questions. Like,
Really?
Yeah. About
so
what?
many questions. Like, now we're having this Spotify playlist overview of the year.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of the questions. Like,
What? No.
what do you think is gonna be your first most listened song? And I was like, does that matter?
Does that
But
matter?
okay, I'm answering it for sure. I'm not gonna, I'm already here. So it was okay. They showed me the room, they showed me the place.
Yeah.
I made some questions. They were like, I don't know why you're making questions. We are the ones that should be making questions.
Bruh, did they really say that?
No, but I felt it.
Okay.
They didn't want to answer my questions.
It
at
is
all.
a risk for you too, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
You don't know who you're gonna live
Mhm.
with, like if this is actually what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But I guess people just expect everyone to be desperate for a place right now.
True.
Yeah.
So
True.
they're like, you don't get to choose, we do.
Yeah. But one thing that I really want to tell now is that if you're looking for a shared place, you should be able to share. Like,
Mhm.
you should know
Duh.
that people have different routines, they have different habits,
Mhm.
and everyone needs to give in a little.
Yeah, true.
So common areas are common areas, so you need to respect that. If you have a cleaning schedule, you're gonna clean in your day. So yeah, this is a really, really, really huge problem. Also because, as you told, everyone is clean, everyone is super organized, everyone is super responsible.
Yeah.
Nobody's throwing
In
parties.
the email.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's a mess.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
completely a mess.
I think that is a message that should go out there. Like, don't lie. If you pretend that you don't smoke, only to be kicked out 3 months later for smoking, like, it's not a thing. Like, it's gonna get more stressful. Like, and especially like in the beginning, there are seasons in which people are all like everyone's finishing their masters, finishing their bachelors. Everyone's moving out, and that's when the rooms are most available. I feel like.
That's true.
And then if you do lie and then they don't like you and then you have to find a place in the middle of the year, like when there's no more options, just gonna get worse. So be honest, be considerate, and
and you're also gonna take someone's place.
yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
not nice. I think that, of course, we're talking about how to fit on those selection process and everything, but don't lie, don't go over the line just because you're desperate. Things are gonna get okay, don't worry.
And if you do say you're a non-smoker, then just stop smoking.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna lie, just make sure it's not a lie anymore.
Yeah.
I also think that shared houses are the most common type of accommodation here, especially affordable ones, right? Because if you're actually looking for something by yourself, you have to be willing to pay some extra bucks for that.
Yeah. I mean, the average price in the Netherlands for a room last year was around 500.
Okay.
Yeah, 500. And the average expenses per student were about 1,000. So other stuff like food and maybe repairing of your bike, new expenses, clothes, whatever. So 1,000 in average last year.
Woohoo.
So,
It is.
but if you look at like Facebook or any other websites, you'll see it's around 300 to 600 per room. But it always depends on the size of the room, where it's located, how far it's located from the uni, especially with how many housemates you're living, how new the house or apartment is, stuff like that. But you can expect 300 to 600 for sure.
Okay, be prepared then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's everything that I really wanted to say about like the tips that I had.
Yeah.
But the primary one is really be fast.
Yeah.
Be fast with the replies and talk with every single one that you know, and tell them you need a house.
Don't waste any time.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was it, everyone. We learned about like how timing is everything about housing, how big the actual crisis is and why is it happening. And we got some great tips about how to be the ideal tenant and how to not be, how can I say, not create problems for the people you're living with. There's a lot of bureaucracy, but everything can be done if you are equipped with people that are willing to help you through the process. And you can also find help through like legal advisors and everything like that.
Yeah, it really needs to be a win-win situation,
It does
right?
have to be
So,
a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Of
being
course.
here.
It was good to be here.
Like,
Thank
oh my,
you.
I learned so much actually. It was mostly for you, but I learned so much.
Yeah. Thank you again for being here. Thank you guys for watching, for listening. Hope you all enjoyed and learned as much as we did today.
Yes.
And stay tuned for more episodes of the Brewing Students Culture podcast.
Yeah.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.